Hi everybody, this is Felicia with FeliciaMarieG.com, and I'm here to talk to you today about how to work with the energy of an eclipse. Basically, what happens with an eclipse is it just highlights and accentuates everything that's in our subconscious. And this includes the collective unconscious. So you're gonna see energy during any eclipse season, and eclipses are always 2 weeks apart. You're gonna see energy come up throughout the world and also in your life that kind of makes you go, wait, this is still an issue? I thought this was done. I didn't know this existed. I thought this was over, right? So the universe brings these eclipses through at certain times that help us really release these deeply rooted things that we have going on in our lives. And the reason you see it come up throughout the earth is because everybody is dealing with the similar energy, right? We're all dealing with the eclipse energy, whether we know about it consciously or not. We're all on the other side of that, having to process this, these feelings and emotions and things that come up, and traumas even, fears, limiting beliefs, all of that comes up from a very shadow-like buried place. In fact, it's so deep that we thought we healed it already. And then the stuff comes up and you might find yourself crying randomly throughout the day, me, or you'll be on the other side just totally exhausted. These eclipses are very energetically draining. They can be. You might also be on the other side, super energized at some points, kind of like full moon energized, right? So it affects everybody differently. And the only way to really move through it is compassion for yourself, first and foremost. So if feelings are coming up, allowing yourself to have an outlet for these feelings to come out, because the reason they're bubbling up to the surface, right, is that they've been suppressed. So they have to come up and out and have a form of healthy expression. And what I mean by that is not taking how you feel and projecting it onto others. I call this emotional vomiting. And you see it a lot in people that don't know how to give a healthy expression to what they're feeling. You can do this with a trusted friend. Let's say there is somebody that you want to talk to. You do this with a trusted friend, somebody who's not going to cast judgment on you and knows that you're just going through things right now and will sit and talk to you about it and just be a space holder for you to air what's going on with you. The unhealthy way, the shadow way that we see something like that express itself is blaming others or blaming a group of people. We've kind of had enough of that in the world, in my opinion. I know it's still going on and I know it's very present in the energy right now, but continuing these cycles of blame is just contributing to division. So you need a healthy way to express how you're feeling and be open to talk to people about it and just get it out in the open, because that's where the light comes in to heal it. So you're going to see a lot of that coming up, and that will always come up around an eclipse. Something that you thought you were over, it didn't bother you, or things that are designed to trigger you because they do need healing. So things in the world will come up and they're triggering you, they're triggering a lot of other people. And you need a healthy form of expression for that. Another way is grounding. Really getting out in nature a lot, disconnecting from online. I just feel like the internet exacerbates a lot of what's going on. And when you really want to get clear on how you feel, stay away from the internet and just get very clear on how you're feeling and give that an outlet. What other ways can you do this? Healing. Of course, you could see an energy healer. You could do your own energy healing. You can talk to somebody to help work this energy through. Even counseling, if you're more of a traditional, not so much alternative healing, counseling is a great way. going into some kind of therapy, just to talk to somebody. For those of you that more resonate with religion, going and talking to your pastor. You see what I mean? It all goes back to talking, giving things an outlet to move through, because eclipses just exacerbate this kind of energy that's coming out. And it is to be healed. So while it's triggering in the moment, it does come up for all of us to look at it and go, what can we do about this? How can we all move forward together as a collective unit of love? How can we do that? How can I work with you to make that happen? So they really bring up all of this. And the one thing that could make it worse is blaming others. And of course, we have to bring light to situations, of course. But there are ways to do that and get people to hear you in ways that they will hear you, rather than blaming them and saying, you're doing this and you're doing that. So the reason I've been talking about this so much is because we have to get to a place where we can approach things in a way that people are able to hear. And usually combating hate with more hate is not a way to do that. So this week, especially with this eclipse that we have coming up at the time of me filming this video, I want you to really stop and look at what you can do to contribute more positivity and really make actionable change. Really stop and visit and revisit with people in your life and things that are triggering to you. What can we do about it? How can we take a step forward? How can we move beyond this and focus on that? Solutions rather than problems. Focus on the solutions and what can be done. And that's a way to use the light to benefit everyone, including you. So eclipses do highlight this really intense energy that comes up. Now, how you want to work with the eclipse energy is really sitting with what's coming up, facing these deep emotions that are coming up, and knowing that even though it's painful in the moment, it is short term. Once the eclipse passes, the energy always calms down. Okay, it always calms down. But to be honest with you, it is a hot mess about 2.5 weeks leading up to any eclipse. So already, with this week being our second eclipse at the time I'm filming this, right? We've had our first eclipse a week and a half ago, and about 2-3 weeks before that, we were already ramping up with this energy. It was slow going, but we were already ramping up with this energy. So we're already about a month, 3 weeks to a month into this really intense energy. And we still have another week. And now we're starting to hit the pinnacle, as is normal with what happens during a second eclipse. So I would urge you this week to listen, and any eclipse week, listen more than you speak. Try to hear other people's point of view. Even if it differs from your own, try to just be open and listen. You don't have to agree. Nobody's saying that. But we're in an energy right now where it can get very heated and a lot of things can go wrong. And it's because people are responding from a triggered state. And yes, sometimes good change comes from things like that, but most of the time it's change that's not helpful and people get really hurt. So we have to try to be centered when we're communicating with others and be very open to another person's opinion. Like I said, you don't have to agree with it. And trust me, I disagree with a lot of people's opinions about a lot of things. And it doesn't mean I'm mean to them. You know what I mean? So I think we have to find a way to be somewhere in the middle here. And eclipses highlight that for us. So I'd love to know what questions you have about the eclipse and how to best handle the energy. Personally, I like being outside a lot during this type of energy because it's really intense. And I find that although I like interacting with other people, I'm also an extreme introvert. And there are times that I just don't want to be online. I'd rather just be outside by myself, walking through nature, noticing the really good things that are happening and paying attention to those and being grateful and showing compassion to others, even when they are in a triggered state. So for me, the more intense the energy is, the more I want to stop and be kind and considerate and compassionate to others. And this is just a rule of thumb for any time that you're feeling really like things are out of control, doomsday, doom is looming. We have this kind of energy around eclipses. Like there's a lot of positivity, but there's also a lot of this doom gloom energy because we're dealing with a lot emotionally. And what you have to do is just make space for yourself to process these emotions. And that is tons of self-care. Tons of self-care. So whether you're taking a salt bath or you are going for a walk out in nature, or you're spending time with people that you love, or you're watching a funny movie, do something that brings you some ounce of joy so that you're able to see that we can move past these things, we can move forward in your individual life or in your business. Eclipses really highlight what is and is not working. And it brings those things right out in the open. So we have a prime opportunity during eclipse season to really look at where fate is leading us. Like, are we gonna be stuck in the past doing stuff that doesn't work anymore? Or are we gonna move forward into the future and really embrace this new energy and this new reality that the universe has for us? So that's gonna be up to you. The eclipse is always a time of choices. And big choices, not little choices. With other planetary alignments, there's sometimes choices that you can shift as you go, and it's not so much of a big deal. But during eclipse season, that's not the case. We're really looking at big defining moments, choices of how you want to be and exist in your life, and what your legacy is going to be, and what is going to bring you fulfillment. So we have kind of a big week leading up to an eclipse, but it's life-changing. All you have to do is know what you want. And you can only know what you want if you cut out all the external noise and drama and go within and figure out, what is it that I want? Not what other people want for me. What do I want? That's what I want you to consider this week. I'm sending you lots of love. And please sit with it and see how you feel. Drop a comment and let me know what you discover. I'd love to have you subscribe and be notified because I release 2 videos a week. And if you haven't already checked it out, I do an energy update video of the week every week. I'd love to have you check that out too. Sending you lots of love. Bye.